you know, the nuts and bolts of this whole affair. Did a really good job.
We love you, Charlotte.
And let's see. Any questions? Okay, I'm really bad at this. I'm kind of a little self-conscious and oh, Jen, you got a question?
As far as an experience of working on Twin Peaks or working with David Lynch, I have a small story. Yeah, come on, you guys. When I was, I think 3 or 4 years old, my mother had a birthday. She has one every year. And we were quite happy and quite poor. And so we didn't know what we were going to do for my mother's birthday, and she went out for the day, I think to work. And Dad and I were home, and Dad decided that we were going to make her something. And we proceeded to fill buckets with dirt and pour it onto the dining room table. And we built a very beautiful, tall mountain of dirt and dug tunnels and made little fine, thinly handed creatures who sat just inside the little tunnels. And we stood proudly next to it as she came in the front door, and she loved it. It stayed for a long time, and we ate on the floor or in the living room or other much cooler places than the dining room table. In an effort to applaud being human and simple and birthdays and being poor and being wealthy in poverty, I would like to announce that one of our guests tonight, Zoe Hazen. Zoe, are you around? Zoe is 15 years old today. And Zoe, I can't carry a tune in a sack, but Coulson, the log lady, can. So maybe Catherine will sing Happy Birthday and we can all join in.
I'm going to start it, but you're going to join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zoe. Happy birthday to you.
So there you go.
I have a story about Jack Nance and David Lynch in the backyard of Jenny's house about Jen. I met her when she was about 3 or 4. I was only 12, but I met her. And they were out in the backyard making this giant baby head. And it was really huge, and they had to sand it by hand. And it took weeks, maybe months. And Jack Nance played, Eraserhead, and David directed it. But together they made the head. And so they were out there sanding and sanding until Jack said that he had no more fingerprints left. And I just remember Jen coming out, into the yard to see, how's the big egg. And all the neighbors, it was a little apartment kind of house thing on San Vicente Boulevard in Los Angeles. And the neighbors would lean over the fence and ask, how's the big egg? And actually Jenny knew it was a head, but she couldn't tell anybody because she was sworn to secrecy. And when she would come down to the Eraserhead set to visit her dad and all of us, because we were all working on it all the time, she would ask David if she could play with the baby. And he would say, yes, but don't touch it. So that's the kind of life this person had, and look at how well she's turned out. Tell you the story of the log. Is this the time?
Yes.
All right. Jen's grandfather and got his PhD, I think, he worked for the U.S. Forest Service, and he was a specialist in wood. And he did his thesis on the ponderosa pine. Now, the ponderosa pine is an endangered stand of trees now, so we have to really do our best to protect those ancient forests. But a stand of ponderosa pine is also worth a lot of money to the lumber industry, so we have to be extra careful to protect them. But anyway, Don Lynch was particularly fond of ponderosa, and so therefore his son David became fond of ponderosa as well. And when we were shooting Eraserhead, I was cast in the movie as the woman who gives Henry and Mary, Charlotte Stewart, their baby. And by the time we got around to shooting that scene, we really didn't have any money left. So I said, oh, we don't really need it. Biggest mistake of my life. But I was tied to a bed with battery cables in another scene that is in the outtakes. In a slip, wearing a slip. The start of another kind of career we don't have to talk about. But, so when we were shooting Eraserhead late at night, I was often taking notes or helping with the camera or helping with lighting or a variety of jobs. I would wear my glasses and I always wore little plaid pleated skirts. And David said, someday, Kath, you're going to play this girl with a log. And he got this idea then for the log girl. And we were going to do this television series called I'll Test My Log with Every Branch of Knowledge. And I would take the log, and it would be a ponderosa pine, of course, and I would take it around to various experts, and we would learn about what the job of the expert was as well as about the wood. So, for example, the log girl would take the log to the dentist. The dentist would clip one of those little blue towels around the log and probe its rings. And we would learn about dental tools as well as about the age of the log. Yes, and of course dental hygiene. So as time went by and David got to do the series Twin Peaks, for which we're all here, he called and asked if I was ready to do the log girl. And I said yes, and we started shooting the pilot up here. And the day that we met in Carnation to shoot the big scene where the mayor is talking and Kyle's character says, Agent Cooper, they say, who's that lady? That's the log lady, or the lady with the log, I can't remember. But anyway, I'm switching a light switch. Right before that scene was shot, there had been a real search for ponderosa pine because David really wanted me to have a real log, and the prop guy had hollowed out a log and put styrofoam in it to make it light, and that was not going to do. So they went on an emergency mission to find a ponderosa pine. Now, you may think that here we are in this beautiful state of Washington, and there's a lot of ponderosa, but there aren't a lot around here. There's a lot of Doug fir. So the prop guy went a long way away to get this log, and he brought several of them back. And David would hold them and then give them to me to hold. And finally, he brought the right log. It had to have two little branches. And we're not calling them arms. We're not anthropomorphizing the log in any way. It's just a log. We don't say he or she. We say it. And he handed me the log, and we just knew. We knew, this log, and then I've often said no trees' lives were lost for this log. A portion of a tree, but not the whole tree. So, and the guy who cut it did tell me a long story about how he had to talk to somebody about getting it, but he managed to get it. I think that's confidential. But when he handed it to me, it was oozing sap. And it was very heavy. In fact, so heavy that at the end of that first day of shooting, I was very sore. And when we went to do our little Star Picks baseball cards, remember those cards? And we've signed some of those tonight. We had the opportunity to write our story on the back, like where we went to school, what our greatest strengths were. And as a result, I got to write mine, and I said that my greatest strengths were my forearms. So that's the story of the log, and I still have the log. It's in a secure, undisclosed location. It's with a humidifier going at all times because it's dried a little bit, as have I. And I did bring it with me here, but TSA won't let me bring it on a plane because of the fact that it could be used as a bludgeon. So thank you for listening.
Okay. I'm Kathleen. I'm so happy. I'm honored to be here. I think it is such a neat group of people, and I'm thrilled that you had me come back. My memory of Twin Peaks is spotty, but I do remember I got the job. They offered it to me, and they gave me a script, and all the lines were blacked out. The only lines that I had were my own lines, which I remember complaining to my manager, like, how am I supposed to do my character if I don't know the other person's lines? And they were like, nope, just go and just learn your lines and show up on the set, and you can't bring anybody to the set. And I had just gotten married, and I thought that was so weird, and what is this? I just didn't know. And I showed up, and Kimmy, you were so sweet. And I had such a great time, and it was such a creative situation, and that's pretty much my memory of Twin Peaks. Thank you.